Hi, welcome. We're going to do a reading for the new moon on May 26th, which is tomorrow. Happens to be tomorrow. So we're in that energy of the full moon already, full new moon, and Gemini. So again, still learning about astrology, but I think Gemini is associated with learning and communication and curiosity, and I feel like it being an air sign, there's like an openness to change, perhaps. I could be totally wrong, but that's what it kind of feels like. It's like this, it's like open-mindedness. So I wonder where that's taking us. It feels like, with communication, learning, and curiosity, that's an open kind of feeling. So let's see what the wild unknown, openness, unknown archetypes has for us. I read a quote recently, I was reading in a book, and this stuck out to me. I think it was, hold on, I want to get it right. Pause, BRB. Okay, I found it. Because I was reading the book, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. Beginner's Mind, Zen Mind, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. It's one of those books I read start to finish without reading other books at the same time. That's very rare. I usually read a few at the same time. Maybe I have an attention thing, but usually, but this one, I just ate it right up. And what I really loved was one of the main quotes of that book. By the way, the author is Shunryu Suzuki, a Zen master. And he said, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's, there are few. So profound. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few. I just love that. So it's like really encouraging just to always come at things with a fresh beginner's mindset. Pretend you don't know anything. Set aside everything you know. So I feel like that's relevant for maybe this reading today. We'll find out. So let's see. We haven't used these archetype cards in a while. I love them. If it's one I've had a lot, I'm going to set it aside because they are very sticky. No matter how many times I've shuffled them to death, I'm going to peel into these. The Fault Line. I don't know if I've ever gotten that one. I'm so excited. We'll read that at the end. The Fault Line. Okay. Let's do a reading for the new moon in Gemini. Thank you for being here. Okay. Seven of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. That's interesting. Okay, I want to keep going. So, right away, there's this energy that you've been patiently working on something, and you're finally seeing it progress to a point that you're pretty satisfied with. It might have been a little frustrating in the past, but you're past that now. And it's almost like you can finally see that it's hold on. I wonder if this is why I felt called to read that quote, because it's like I look at the progression of the numbers being, these are all pentacles. So something in your daily life, like your tangible material world, you've been working towards, and now it's like feels like you're starting fresh again. So I don't know if something has come to some fruitfulness where it's like you can see the potential that it has, and you want to like make it even better. So that could be that, or you feel like you learned, maybe maybe this is it. You learned a lot along the way, and now you're ready to just like scrap it, start with something fresh, but that you've learned from, and what you're taking the learnings and putting it into this new thing. Well, we'll see. Could be different, that for each different person. Like both those things could be true depending on who you are. Okay. And then we have the Four of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Hanged Man. Wow. So whatever, it almost does feel like that. Like whatever you've been working toward, you're ready. It is time to start fresh in a new direction. But you're taking time, or this is asking you to take time to really contemplate what new direction. Because whatever it is, you're going to take everything you've learned and put all of your efforts in that one direction. But you've really got to, everything here is saying take time, really seek your own, like, what do you want out of this? What do you really desire? What is it you're really seeking? Like, don't just do things for the sake of doing them. Because if you're really starting over, maybe that's that beginner mindset. If you're really starting over with something, you're going to make it everything you really hoped and wished it could be. But you've really got to like dig deep. It's like create a vision board, you know, like, whoa, it could be anything. So what are you going to make? What are you going to do with it? That's exciting territory. Especially with this new moon, you're starting something new. Ah. And then we have this, oh yeah, oh my gosh. Oh my God, oh, you can't see this. You have the Seven of Cups, Justice, and Eight of Cups. So yes, you're taking time right now to question, like, out of all these possibilities, this is literally the quote we just talked about. Like, you are having such a beginner's mind. With this Hanged Man, you're like shifting, you're contorting yourself. It might be a little uncomfortable to try to force this new perspective, like wringing yourself out, like squeeze out all of that old stuff, get it out of the way. And like, then you have the Seven of Cups energy of like daydreaming, possibilities. In the beginner's mind, there are only possibilities. That's what this is. Seek your truth. What is your truth? What is your, it's all about what do you want? And this Eight of Cups says you're going off to find it, and you're not settling for less. Like you built something pretty good, whatever it was up to this point in your life. Pretty satisfied with it, pretty content. You're pretty grateful too. It looks like there's gratitude here. If not, then it says have some gratitude, because it's going to lead to this new path being smoother than it otherwise would be. But this Eight of Cups here at the end is like, you're going off to make that thing, find it. And you're not settling for anything less than what that it could just be so great. Okay. So with that, let's do maybe a couple clarifications, and we'll read our fault line, what that's all about. So I think what are you curious about? What are you curious about? Because we'll just clarify the things we're curious about. Hold on, let's see. I'm a little bit curious about what might we learn, or what might we want to contemplate in this period here where it says pause, gain that fresh perspective. What might we learn in that period of time? What might we need to watch out for? Let's see. Okay. Oh, Okay, we got the Tower, King of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. Oh, I think wow. That makes a lot of sense. We're going from like very grounded energy into like this heart opening, heart possibilities, what I deeply desire kind of energy. And what this is saying is that watch out for the swiftness of change that can happen when you're like, I'm ready for something new. Because when you speak that into existence, like the readiness, I'm ready for something new, the old stuff can go away really quickly and change. So it's like, don't be scared of that change. Embrace it, and it can be navigated a little smoother because you're moving into this, like by embodying the King of Cups, which is you acting out of like your emotional, like tapping into your deepest heart's desires and embodying that heart opened energy. You're achieving the Ten of Cups, which is like your emotional fulfillment. So this is like whatever this, when you go inside internally, take a pause, gain that new perspective, it's asking you to question what is your deepest heart's desires. Not the logical, like, oh, I should do this. I've always wanted to like save a lot of money or, you know, do these logical things. This is like, what does your heart, what do you want? Like, oh, if money wasn't a factor, if none of these logical things were a factor, what would you want? Because you have everything supporting you to make drastic changes that will be supported. Like they're going to be A-okay. So that was one thing I was curious about. So whatever vision boarding you're going to do to bring in this new thing, tap into what your heart's, you really, really, really desire from a heart, just like perspective. What have you always wanted deep down? Like pretend you're your soul self that says, okay, you were put into this human body on this earth. What are you going to do with your remaining years? Like, if you could do that one thing, what is it? Okay, what I'm also curious about is something about this truth seeking. Like, and not settling for less. Is there something we need to be on the lookout for? Because I like to understand, what are those little signs or clues every step of the way that might jog us into like, oh, watch out for that, or oh, consider that, you know, as we're off in this new, putting all our efforts into this new direction. The Five of Pentacles. Ooh, the Nine of Wands. And the Four of Cups. Oh, these are things to watch out for. Okay, all three of these things. Wow. So there's like this energy of not talking yourself out of the possibilities just because what you see right in front of you are the obstacles, because the obstacles are temporary and they're kind of made up by the mind to keep us distracted. And just because things are hard doesn't mean you should stop. Like, things might be a little challenging to build whatever you're working toward, and they're meant to be, because that's how we grow, right? That's how we get satisfaction, deepest satisfaction and fulfillment out of the things we're striving for is because they're challenging. If everything was easy, we'd be like, well, what did I learn from that? Right? So things might be a little hard. Don't get stuck in the temporary oof feelings, because those are the feelings that keep us in that state. We need to recognize them, that they are as temporary and as things that are fueling our growth and our self-reliance and our just, it's going to make everything feel even more worth it. So that's what we're going to learn through the process. Okay? So I'm glad we took time to question that. Because those are the clues. Like when you feel that oof, those temporary stumbles, that's what it's going to feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this after all. Just shut it down. Shut that thought down. That is a temporary little oof. Feel the oof. Feel it. Take a day off. Whatever. Just don't stop. Don't let that be the end. Sometimes we need a day off. You don't have to push through so hard either. I think that's why justice is here. Is there's this balance to the journey. You're truth seeking. But the other part of this is like, take those days off when you feel the oof and the temporary, like, oh, this is hard, because you'll need your energy for the next phase. Okay, so the fault line. Let's see what this is about. Okay. The fissure, the crack, the weak link. Imagine walking across a frozen lake that begins to crack before your eyes. No matter how optimistic and brave you might be, panic ensues. You become fearful and tense and long for stable ground. Such is the energy of the fault line. It's the energy of walking on eggshells, of precarious dynamics, of sensing what is ready to break open into chaos. It's likely this cracking open is overdue, as fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressures. This card comes as a potent warning not to deny the shakiness that's afoot. It's much better to prepare yourself for change than to walk along the fault line pretending all is well. There is no easy fix for the situation at hand. It will require a foundational shift that alters the current dynamics from the ground up. Interesting that we got the Tower. That's what it reminded me of right away. When light, this is redefining reality, breaking open. That's what these are. This is like new territory here. Redefining period, breaking open. When dark, precariousness, pretending, delusion. That's what this was warning us about. These don't get stuck in that phase. It is possible that something a loved one said caused a crack in your relationship that has never been mended. Resist it. It's time to heal. The time to heal is nigh. In Japanese kintsugi pottery, gold is used to mend cracks. Breaks are thought of as precious rather than something to be hidden. I love that. It does. It gives it character. And I think that's like, we talked about the struggling through the hard part of the growth. It's like you can only grow through that. And it does build character. It does give you beauty. I love that. So that seems pretty relevant for this journey you're on. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions or you want to do a one-on-one reading. And thank you for being here. Good luck through this new moon in Gemini with wherever you're going. Yeah, you're going off to find it and you're not settling for less. So keep going through the hard times. You've got this. Bye.